So today I'm going to be talking about an audiobook that I just finished called Girls Like Her by Melanie Sumrow, or Sumrow, I'm not sure how to pronounce the author's last name. But this audiobook was absolutely amazing. It was narrated by January Lavoie, and if you've ever listened to an audiobook by January Lavoie, you know that she is an incredible narrator. But I do want to preface this first by saying that this book has a lot of trigger warnings. I'm gonna try and go over all of them just so that way if you are interested in this book at all, you are aware of the trigger warnings. The book does kind of preface it a little bit, but I don't think it goes into like a lot of detail about like the content warnings. So I do kind of want to go over them before I kind of talk about the book. The book focuses on murder. It's literally about a girl on trial for murder. So definitely a trigger warning for that. Forced prostitution, child prostitution, underage drug use, underage drinking, rape, sexual assault, child abandonment, or like neglect, I should say, underage pregnancy, incest. Some of this stuff is like discussed in depth, and then some of it's just kind of talked about a little bit, so just be aware, like I can like go over it in more detail for you if you need. And I'm trying to think of like gun use. I'm trying to think of like anything else that the book kind of talks about. I think that might be it. If I think of anything later, I'll bring it up. But that's kind of it. But the book, like I said, it talks about a girl who's on trial for murder, but it really follows her relationship with the social worker who's trying to help her as she's going to be on trial. And so it's really like the story of like the social worker trying to like get the girl to open up about like her life and how it all led up to what happened the day that the guy died. And the girl is 15, so she's really young, and so it does deal with some really heavy topics, but it deals with them in like a really like nuanced way, and the author does talk about how this is like, it's obviously like a fictional story, but these are based off of like people who deal with these things, so I really appreciated that. But it was just so good. I really liked learning about the main character's story, and I'm like blanking on her name. Oh, Ruby. Ruby's story, and learning about like all that she had gone through. It was just so good, and you get like pieces of like the trial, both from the prosecutor's perspective and from the defense attorney's perspective, and you get like these letters that Ruby is writing to her friend, and then you obviously get like the pieces of the interactions between Ruby and the social worker Cadence. And so it was just like really, really fascinating. And for reference, like I am in school to become a social worker, so for me this was like especially fascinating, because something like that is like has like a personal like a personal meaning to me, and it kind of made me want to like look into becoming like a forensic social worker. But this book was just absolutely incredible, and then the ending was like so good. But I absolutely loved this book. It was just so good. I just picked it up on a whim. It was a book from the library that was just available as an audiobook, and that happens to me a lot where I'll just find an audiobook that's just available now, and then I end up loving it, and I was just kind of in the mood for something a little bit darker, a little bit more intense, and I ended up really loving this one. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more, like I said, more intense, more realistic, definitely a little bit more, a little heavier, I highly recommend this. Again, it's Girls Like Her by Melanie Sumrow. The audiobook was fantastic. I highly recommend it, especially because of the way that it deals with all of the different elements of the book, because like I said, there's like letters, there's transcripts from the trial, you know, so it really like did it really well. I really love full, you know, I'm like blanking on how to describe them, fully produced audiobooks. So highly recommend the audiobook. You know, Jenna Lavoie, great narrator. She does really great voices. And this book was just incredible. But again, heed those content warnings. They are not to be taken lightly. So